to another episode of Behind the Raver Podcast. And this is what, episode 10?
11.
No, it's 10.
10?
Yeah, it's 10.
It's 11.
No, it's 10.
No, you lying.
We're already starting off disagreeing. It's episode 10, yeah.
I put episode 10.
Episode 9 was last time.
All right, well, you can say whatever episode it is.
It's episode 10, okay?
Okay.
All right, no, just welcome everybody, and we want to start off with just a little bit about some music that we love right now currently.
Yes.
And
you go first.
Okay, so the first two songs that I really want to kind of shout out, and we're going to be doing this for every episode at the beginning of every episode, so y'all can just get a feel of what we like to listen to and what we're kind of feeling. So the first one is Gorgon City and Pax, and it's called Alive. Shout out to Gorgon City, by the way, for reposting our story.
Yay.
So that was huge for us. And then there's also Eats Everything. He has a song called Best. It's like a massive techno banger. If y'all techno heads love it, go listen to it. Those are my two. What about yours?
So my first one, it's not really EDM related, but, you know, I have such a big, like, taste in music, I guess, or very broad. So my first one is going to be Rockets feat Mo Moxie by Lion Babe. So she's like a let's get it, you know, in the club, or you know, like something chill, like you at a session, little house party. Is it like or whatever. R&B vibes? Yeah, kind of. It's like a down tempo R&B, like super like I'm sexy as fuck, I don't need nobody type shit. So that's my first vibe. My second vibe is gonna be Gravity by Jenga. Now that's a dubstep song. So you give the house the house music vibes, I'll give the dubstep vibes. But yeah, Gravity by Jenga is my other song. Do you have any songs that you're listening to right now, Imani?
Actually, I'm like the worst person to ask about that because I just listen to a lot of random shit on my phone. But there is this, I've been like kind of fucking with SoundCloud a little bit. And there is this song called Wet Ass Bracelet by this guy or girl named DJ Rena Ryugu. I don't even know how to say it right, but it's Ryuugu.
Oh, okay.
And basically it's like, you know, WAP, but they have like this really cool like EDM kind of background to it. It's like the remix of WAP basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check that out. Low key, SoundCloud got some bangers, like the low key bangers.
Yeah, it's always that's what it's become now. I feel like it's like people just put the most random stuff out there on SoundCloud. Yeah, specifically.
It's the best.
So now that we got that out of the way, first of all, just because this is brand new and this just happened, we want to give a huge moment of silence and just a RIP to I.O.
Bro, dude, I literally found out like the moment I got here, and I did not know the entire day. So
I told her too. I'm the one and the thing is, like, my friend Karina texted me, and then I told Imani, and I'm like, we were both like, wait, what? We don't believe it. Like,
I didn't believe it. I really thought you were fucking with me. I'm like, it's too early. Yeah, it's too early for April Fools, bro. Like, you have to wait, please. So. But y'all, this is not the reason why we wanted to do the podcast. Oh, let's pay our respects first. Quick silence. All right. Bet. So back to your scheduled programming, we do have a very special guest. Her name is GIVEMEPLUR, or that's her social media, right? And her real name is Imani. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Imani.
Hi, world. My name is Imani Williams. You also know me as GIVEMEPLUR, the Plur Queen, obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, I am just a super awesome, down-to-earth girl who just loves the rave scene. I've just created my whole world around it. And before I was like just a raver who just enjoyed the scene, then I became this like kind of influencer, like model type. And then I realized I couldn't really make that much money because a lot of people was trying to do that. And everybody's just trying to give free shit. They're not trying to necessarily pay you like that. So I decided last year to create GIVEMEPLUR, like the store, the brand. I I always kind of saw it as like a brand, but this time I was like, you know, I really need to kind of step it up a notch and make money off of it. So I decided to open up a store. And what's funny is that I first opened up the store. It was called Pretty Rave Girl because I thought I just wanted to have something separate. It was. Yeah, but it only lasted for like maybe like a month or so, and then my mom was like, "Bitch, you are so stupid. You're giving me P.L.U.R, bitch. Yeah. Don't go away from that." So I just was like, "You're right. Like I don't want to confuse people."
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to Mama Dukes. So now I'm giving me P.L.U.R, like all the way around the brand, the store, and just selling clothes, and we have a lot of other things in the works, but we could talk about that later.
Yeah, you know, I actually wanted to take this moment to say that because of you're the reason why, honestly, this whole Behind the Raver really started, because I remember when you first started the P.L.U.R podcast and you had me and Santana on for that one episode. It was about men's rave fashion and whatnot, and or the lack thereof of men's rave fashion. And I remember just like sitting here in this living room and at that table, and it just seemed so easy, like the idea of doing a podcast. Like you didn't make it seem difficult at all. And I remember like in the summertime, like right when quarantine hit and everything, I decided I want to do something like that. And so because of you are the main reason why I've decided to want to like do this podcast, bring Mariana on, and then we just have something wonderful. And then, you know, it's like coming full circle now, I feel like. So it's really nice. So
yeah, I'm really proud of you too.
Thank you.
Because this is awesome. I see that you guys have been at it and consistent, and that's really like all that matters, is just being consistent and making sure your audience can like depend on your content. And I think you guys are doing great. I listened to a few of y'all's episodes, and you guys are like really natural with each other, which is perfect.
Thank you. You know, I'm a natural goofball, and he's pretty serious, so you know it's a pretty good balance between you know, yin and yang or whatnot. So
and the thing is, like, we've been friends so before this, so it just kind of like we're like, oh, why not, like, let's do something, you know, and have an outlet. And you know, this for you is kind of somewhat like a new, like a restart, would you say, for your podcast?
Definitely. That's why I was really happy you asked me to be on here, because I'm doing like a season 2 for my podcast, and also a revamp. Me, Don, remember we talked about, you actually kind of inspired me as far as like restarting it, because I was kind of thinking like, had like black and white thinking, being like, you know, it would only have to be about rave stuff. So when I had did it last year, or the last season, it was all about rave stuff, and it was very specific, and I kind of felt like I was kind of suffocating because I was putting myself in this like creative box, like I wasn't allowing myself to talk about other things. So then when you and I had talked about it the other day, or a few months ago, Don, you were like, you know, P.L.U.R is all encompassing, you know. So I'm like, cool, I'm gonna I actually have a few people lined up, and it's gonna be dope. But like you said, this is like me getting my feet in the water, getting back into the groove of it.
And I'm really excited the fact that we're also recording this too, because it gives people a chance to put faces to names to faces, and so that's really nice to just like for people to see you, all of us, kind of in our natural habitat, natural state. And
I'm looking really natural because my hair not even done.
If you aren't watching the video, me and Mariana are both wearing the same color. What is this?
Yeah, low key kind of.
What color is this?
Mustard
Squash?
yellow.
Mustard yellow.
Yeah, mustard yellow.
Yeah, we're both wearing like we're all wearing autumn colors.
Yeah. I'm wearing a like a orange reddish shirt that says "Protect Black Youth, baby."
Yes, baby.
From Black Vibe Tribe. Check them out.
Yes.
So many plugs. Yeah, plug as much as you can, as much as you want, because that's what this episode really is for. Because we know you have a lot of connections, especially in the scene and just a lot of different places. I've even seen your Instagram, and you kind of repost different people, like even on your personal Instagram. I've seen like even restaurants, even in the city, like around your area, and I've actually gone out of my way to go and visit those restaurants because
that's right.
Right? So you actually do make an influence, because I'm like, oh, I should try that out. Like there's like this what's that vegan restaurant? Is it?
I think it's Majani's, or no, you went to I can't believe it's not meat. In Hyde Park.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, but without further ado, well, we wanted to start really get into this episode and talk a little bit about yourself. So tell us, what got you into the scene, first of all? What got you into this whole EDM raving scene?
Well, I've always loved the music. It's always been just a part of my personality. Before it was just pop music, and after that it was like techno. But the thing is like growing up in the hood, like east side of Chicago, nobody knows what EDM is. Like we didn't have a name for it. It actually wasn't a name for it until like 2010. Like EDM that like acronym didn't even come up till like 2010. So like growing up, everything was fucking techno. So, but I loved it. My spirit connected with that. My spirit did not connect with house music though. It did not. I did not like it. I remember like my family playing house music, and I just couldn't vibe with it. And I was very eclectic in my music taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, like the rave scene though, like I actually first got experience with that when I was in the military. Dated this Russian dude. He got me into all kinds of drugs and shit. And he asked me if I wanted to go to a rave.
Dudes.
Yeah. Crazy guy. And he asked me if I wanted to go to a rave, and I said, fuck yeah. Because all I was thinking about was the stuff you saw in movies like Blade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I was just like super excited. And I swear, like for the first 10 minutes probably, like of us actually being in there, maybe 20 minutes, I did not like it. It was Hollow freaking Wayne in Denver, Colorado.
Oh,
and
damn.
I was like, it was fun, but to let you know how of a noob I was wearing heels. I was wearing heels.
Oh, hell no.
I've worn heels to my first 2 raves, I promise you.
Oh my God. Dude, low-key, I've seen people at Concord wear heels, and I'm like, oh yeah.
But are they in the very back though, or are they in the front? If they're in the very back, then...
No, this was waiting in line, so I don't know. I don't know where they ended up at, but I could tell that they were new. And I'm like, sweetheart.
See, but the thing, there's a difference between, like, the rave and the club. Because but it's a thin line, though. So, if you go to the clubs here in Chicago, like, even if it's an EDM DJ, some people might try to say it's a rave, but it's really not. It's like a club scene. A club,
yeah.
But I went to like a rave though. It was an actual rave in Denver. But the first 20 minutes, I wasn't feeling it. I was like feeling claustrophobic.
What
like
music were they playing?
You know what? I don't remember, but it was good though. Like I enjoyed the music. I just didn't like everybody being so close to me.
Oh, I see.
Because the guy who I was with, he had us like in the crowd, and I was just like, I don't know.
Had you ever been to concerts before? Like before that, just going to live events?
You know what? No, not really. Actually, I don't even think so. I think that was probably my first like experience doing that. But that eventually, over time, like it just became natural. What made it nice was we got out of that crowd, obviously, and then we met up with one of his friends, and she traded candy with me.
Oh, there you go.
I had like my candy trading experience, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like this weird little gang hand. I'm just like, damn, like this is so beautiful. And she like gave me I don't have the candy. I don't remember her face. Dang. Like I know she was a white woman, but that's it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember.
She was really nice, but yeah.
So you went to those shows. You kind of had an okay time. Then what catapulted you to go into like the next phase, or wanted to continue seeking out raves even though you didn't have the greatest experience?
Well, it was just the first 20 minutes that wasn't great, but eventually the night was magical. Like it was really good. I was also off shrooms, so it made it very magical.
Yeah.
So
No, I can only imagine.
It was a very magical experience, but it was, I would say what really got me like really deep into it is it was probably just the music. It wasn't like one specific thing, because I could just remember just listening to music on my own, like just going to concerts and just like wanting to be a part of it. Like I just got a taste, and I just wanted to be around that environment all the time.
Yeah, I feel that. It is a very like eye-opening experience, because I was kind of like the same as you. Like for me, it was like just hip hop, rap, and I knew I liked EDM, but that wasn't in my vocabulary either. You know, like all my friends were from the hood too, so it was like the only thing they were listening to was just like, you know, whatever Southside like rappers they have, and I didn't really like that. Yeah, like Chief Keef and G Herbo and shit, and I was like, I'll listen to it, but it wasn't really like my type, but it was just the type of friends that I had at the time.
Right.
So I don't think I really listened to that much music on my own, except for the radio. And I knew I liked Skrillex, but I didn't like Deadmau5. And I knew I liked trap.
Get out.
I know. I mean, like now I can listen to him, but back then it was like such a different vibe for me that I was completely different. I feel like it's
different. At the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, like it was.
You were currently listening
that's
to,
how
right?
I felt about dubstep. As soon as I heard that at it was Snowball I went to.
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't Snowball. I'm sorry, I'm capping. It was called Frozen. But it was in Denver. I think it was called Frozen or something. But I heard dubstep for the first time, like the trap
dubstep.
Yeah, and I felt like that was such a disrespectful genre to black music. I was like, this is so whitewashed. Like, but now I like it. Like, I don't like seek it out, but if I hear it, I'm like, oh,
yeah, because you're like, that's the banger.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Love that.
Yeah, so that's how I started off, and then I literally went to EDC 2017 just because I knew that DJ Khaled and Metro Boomin were on the lineup, and I was like, fuck, I like Metro Boomin. So that was literally the only reason why I went, which was like the best idea that I've ever had before, because after that it was like, wow, there's so much.
It all made sense.
Yeah, it all made sense. I was like, this is where I belong.
You know,
like,
honestly,
this is my
like
home.
that EDC, the fact that they booked 2 hip hop producers, and then they did it the following year, which is the year I went when they had Mike Will Made It. I said Mike Will Made It and London on the track. And amazing.
You saw them, right?
Amazing. And then Mike Will Made It.
2018?
Yeah. And Mike Will Made It brought out Ray Shemmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shit.
I was so happy because I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of bummed they don't do that anymore. EDC just stopped booking hip hop artists.
Yeah, see, and in 2017, Metro Boomin brought out Drake.
Yeah, and
Dude,
I'm like, I love the
Drake.
vibes. Like,
and I was like,
it
what?
felt like a house party. Like, it felt like party vibes. Like,
yeah, and it was amazing. You could tell who the fuck was from Chicago because Metro Boomin started playing Chief Keef.
Yeah.
And then everybody, literally just the whole crowd of people just ran to the front.
All the Chicago flags.
And I was like, oh,
what he play? I don't like.
Huh?
What he play? I don't like.
Yeah. Obviously. And then after that was when Drake came out, and he started off with Jumpman, and the crowd went fucking nuts. And I had a panic attack low key because that was my first time.
Being at
that was my first time being at a festival. I had never.
EDC your first experience, Imani?
And I had never.
Like your first festival experience is EDC. Like. Just imagine.
Yeah, and
like, I didn't have that experience, so you're lucky.
Yeah, and prior to that, I didn't go to any raves. I never went to like a show or a concert, like nothing like that. So this was a completely new experience for me. So I completely understand how it is, and like the evolution now. How do you think you've evolved as a raver from back then to now?
I'm so much more classy. No.
She meant to say trashy.
Right. Honestly, I feel like my fashion has definitely elevated. Definitely. I can remember the tutu phase and tank top.
I still miss it.
I'm like still trying to find a pic. Like I remember the picture had braces. My hair was in a half up, half down. I can see it right now. Little thing. I had a fucking white crop top, and I put one of those equalizer things on top of it, so like when the music went, the sound went. Oh my god, so lame. And then I had a tutu. I had a blue tutu on and just some Toms. I was always wearing fucking Toms. So now I'm a fucking bad bitch. I even got a store to let everybody know I'm a bad bitch, and to make everybody else a bad bitch too. So
fuck yeah. So who inspired you to start off your fashion business? Or do you think you had any like fashion icons in the rave scene that made you be like, I want to be that, I want to have that?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, I never wanted to have a store. like to sell clothes. I've always just wanted to be the bitch that everybody gave their clothes to and be like the model, and like everybody looked to me to see what's the newest outfit. Because I feel like I followed a lot of girls who had a really good fashion sense, and I like followed a lot of different like what do you call them, like fashion designers who came, like I felt like I was ahead of the curve, but I didn't have the money to get all the outfits because, you know, it's expensive as fuck. So there was that. And then as far as who inspired me, really, one girl that comes to mind that pops in my head is Lissy. I think her name is Lissy Sanchez on Instagram. I'm going to just double check, but she's this, I'm pretty sure she's Mexican, a beautiful girl. She lives in San Diego, California. And I fucking love her. Like, she's super pretty. She takes the best photos. But when I was like starting to do like modeling and all that stuff, like her, look at you tapping on my screen.
I know who you're talking about.
Because he's thirsty to look.
I saw.
He said, "Oh, Mexican."
No. Actually, I know who she is.
Yeah. Lissy.
I seen her on Radiate a lot.
Yeah, she's fine as hell.
Oh, damn.
And she's the girl who I wanted to be. Like, everybody's always sending her stuff. I actually sent her an outfit. I'm waiting for her. Lissy, if you're listening, put the shit on and take the picture already so everybody can buy it.
Yes.
But basically, like, she always has like the newest stuff, and what I love about her is like she's not too like, it's simple. Like, simple is more with her. Like, less is more with her. I don't know. It's
and her
really
figure
nice.
is fucking beautiful.
She has a nice body.
Body goals as fuck, girl. That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, that's, I guess, maybe not one particular person inspired me or chain of events. It was just kind of like a compilation of just like me modeling myself, me looking at other girls, and then also just being like, I'm about to be 30, so I need to do something serious.
Oh yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. So what do you think have been the challenges so far of you building that brand and kind of like getting into the habit of realizing that you are now not just only a model for yourself, but you are a Black woman in the industry who's running the show, you know, full on, you're a businesswoman. What are the challenges and pros and cons, I guess you could say, of those two things?
Okay, so the number one challenge is, well, okay, maybe it's number two now because I feel like I have it more under control, but definitely like just not partying and like just being more focused. Like, it's not as hard as it was when I first started because I love doing what I'm doing. I love working on my store. But yeah, just I had like took a little break to create my business, and then once the business was going and I started it this March, I was like, I'm good. Like, I'm going to just go out a little bit. I'm going to drink a little bit. And I just kind of like got really distracted. So now I'm like back on another break from like alcohol and partying. So like, that's like number one, is just like staying focused and having your priorities in order.
Definitely. Time,
what people don't understand is like time is so finite. Like time is so precious. When you're a business, when you're running your own business, or you're, you know, trying to do something that's fucking extraordinary, you got to be very particular about how you spend your time and like who you give your time to.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was going to say that, especially when you started out, and I remember when you were like, you changed from Pretty Rave. I remember being here in this living room. It always comes back to this living room. I spent a lot of time at Imani's house, y'all. But I remember being in this living room, and I remember seeing the little Pretty Rave Girl stickers, and you're like, don't show this to anybody, but I'm gonna, you know. And I was like, okay, cool. I felt so cool. And now you're here, and I feel like as you've progressed and you've gotten a lot more, I guess you could say, clout. It's a good thing, though. You know, I'm glad to see you just like getting up there. And I feel like, though, obviously one of the challenges, and you stated it, there's a lot more expectations for you to kind of fit into. Do you feel like there's this expectation to fit into this role, like because you have this kind of persona of, you know, just being outgoing and very lively in your outfits? are just very
so
colorful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And do you
Thank
feel like
you.
you have that pressure where you're expected to go out and drink or do drugs or just go out and party and rave all the time?
That's a good fucking question, because the answer is hell no. I feel very confident and strong and just sitting my black ass in the house. Like, literally nobody can convince me or pressure me into it. I felt that like last year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really felt the pressure of like needing to be outside and like be a part of the scene, like physically. But like, the internet is great. Like, you can fucking stunt and be in your fucking, never leave your room. You know what I'm saying?
You just need this whole setup right here.
Exactly.
And, it's funny because when I see videos of like the GIVEMEPLUR posts,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I know where they shot that. I just like, I can see, because I know sometimes it's like here or somewhere there. So like, I know, but you're right. I feel like you do save a lot of money not having to go out and, do certain, pay to like be somewhere to do a shoot or whatnot. You literally just did a shoot in the freezing cold with what's her name? Deborah. Yeah, and it was like in the freezing cold, and it was like this whole cowgirl. Did you see it?
Yeah,
Rodeo.
I did.
So
Oh
cool.
my God, I was
So
like,
cool.
okay,
Yeah.
honey,
Yes.
yes.
It was
I
amazing.
absolutely loved it, and honestly, like, you have been such an inspiration, because patience is key. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
But patience is key, and like seeing your progress from when you used to put me and Manny on the guest list at the mid and you were there till like, 3, 4 in the morning, and I would see your posts and you would be like still out till like 6 a.m. and you'd be partying.
Yes.
And then eventually it got to a point where I remember seeing your posts and you were like, I'm a different person. Like, this is not the type of lifestyle that I want. And then you started slowly evolving into being your own self without needing to rely on other people to give you the hookups. And now you started doing your own shit. And now, like, it's a pandemic right now. So, it's kind of hard to get the type of clout that you really deserve. But it's like that waiting process of just slowly, staying your ass in the house, you're saving your money, you have a clear mind without the drugs, without the alcohol, without the partying, and without the so many people in your ear, just like, having a specific image of who you are, or who they think they know who you are, but they really don't know, because the only thing they see is the party you. But now you're getting there, and like, that's so inspirational. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, that's literally what it means, like, to be an entrepreneur. Things take time. So it's like, just don't give up. And that's what's pushing me to stay motivated, because it's like, and I have other people too on social media that, they started off very small, but now they're getting somewhere, and they start posting their things. And I'm like, fuck, like, just in a year, just keep hustling. Yeah. So speaking of that, the hustle, what advice do you have for people who are in the rave scene or not in the rave scene, who want to start their own brand? What do you think are the top 3, like, advice that you would give them?
Okay, so my top 3 advice tips, I would have to say, one is you need to research what it is that you are trying to like sell, or what you're like, who your target audience is. I think, because for me, I feel like I kind of worked backwards. Like, I kind of just like knew, like, I already was like an influencer, kind of like, I already had an idea of what I wanted to sell. And now I'm trying to get more specific and figure out who my target audience is, which is not like a bad thing. Like, there's more than one way to skin a cat. But if I would have started with my target audience first, then I probably would be, I'd probably be a little further along. Maybe not that much, but still, like, I think that you should really like figure out who your target audience is. If you don't know what that is, like, you need to spend time, like, invest money in like webinars or like different classes that teach you. Like, I'm in a class right now called Start and Scale. It's $1,000 course, but you can split that with friends. I split it with three people. You know what I'm saying?
So what is that class? Where is it at? Is it an online class?
It's on founder.com.
Founder.com.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's like ran by this girl named Greta, and she basically started like 4 freaking multi-million-dollar businesses. Very simple ones too. One is like a tea brand, and one is like just like very simple things, but but it's really foundational because she talks about the basic stuff. Who are you selling to? What is the idea? Teaches you how to like brand properly, all types of stuff.
Right.
So I'd say that for sure, knowing your target audience, and then also to definitely take care of yourself. Like, I feel like health is so important, especially now, like during the COVID. You got to take care of yourself. There's no fun in being rich and being sick. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, if you're not eating properly and sleeping. We were just talking about that, Don. Like we can't even function without 7 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
At least 7.
Like when I first started this business, I didn't get any sleep. I literally would be up for like 2 days. Like, and I hadn't done that since, my little bender days, like having fun partying. But this was different because this is like my baby. Like I'm up 24/7, just constantly. That's why I had that pad on my chair because my ass would hurt sitting in the chair. Like just literally sitting down. I wouldn't even eat. I wouldn't even move from my seat. That's how like dedicated I was. I had like a burning desire. If you read this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about that. Like that's like the number one thing you need in order to achieve anything or to like get anything that you want or manifest shit. You have to have a burning desire. And I feel like I definitely had that. So if you got that burning desire, definitely go for it. But you got to take care of yourself. Don't forget to like wash your ass and go to sleep and
use
eat.
Wet wipes.
Because what happened after that when I could take care of myself, I was having panic attacks. So even though I wasn't like partying anymore or doing drugs anymore, I was still sick because I wasn't taking care of myself. So that's number 2. And then number 3 probably, it would be to find a mentor. I'm redoing my 67 Steps. It's this program by Ty Lopez. He's like a digital mentor of mine. And basically, in one of his episodes, like one of the earlier episodes, he talks about humbling yourself, having like the humility of Michael Jordan, he says. So like a lot of people think that Michael Jordan is this very cocky guy, and he is outwardly, but as far as action goes, Michael Jordan is one of the most humblest men or people you'll ever meet, because when he talks about it in the book, Michael Jordan, The Life, basically they say that like when his coaches wanted him to do something, he would listen and apply it. You know what I'm saying? Like immediately. It wouldn't be no question. He didn't think he was, even though he knew he was talented and he had natural abilities, he also like took in the information and applied it to like his skills, to his game, So like I say that to say that that's something that I am currently working on. I think I was really humble and I like worked on and I like asked for help in the beginning. But once I start getting a little bit of clout, like Don said, like, and people start saying how they really like my brand, especially over the summer, I kind of like stopped asking for advice and was kind of like doing my own thing and was kind of being overly confident. And it caused me to hit a wall this Halloween. So like this fourth quarter has been very, very tough for me financially and just like creatively, because instead of asking for help and seeking out mentors who are already like, other business owners who are already doing it, I kind of like depended on my own knowledge and kind of fucked myself up a little bit. But, I'm still doing, I think I'm still doing good because I'm seeking the information now. So that's number 3 is be humble, seek mentorship, and I think you'll be great.
Yeah, I love that.
That's actually really good advice.
Yeah, and you're very knowledgeable on other people's work. So I think just like the fact that you have so much knowledge of what other people have written, and the fact that you are actively acknowledging that you did hit a wall because of your own, I guess, quote unquote, cockiness. It's like, that's important to realize, because now your doors are opening way more now, and you'll be able to get more access to the things that you need. And I think that kind of like getting that cockiness periods is a good thing. Like, it's not a bad thing per se. You know, it's like you're gonna reach that moment in life where you're like, hell yeah, I'm that bitch, because I've been getting everything that I've been wanting, you know, for previous to when I had it.
Gotta
but it's
pat
like
yourself on the back a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, but then you know, it's like when you reach that point and nothing more develops after that, it's like, okay, how else can I develop even more to get to the next step of what I want in my next life? And that's where the mentorship comes. So I agree 100%. That's awesome.
I will say what's nice to hear. Okay, so for anyone that's listening right now, I know for a lot of people this may be like new to hear from at least your perspective, and even our friends like the Chicago Shufflers, you know, just people in the city who know you, they probably haven't heard you like this. So I was just like thinking about everything you were saying, and I'm like, you know, she says this every single time I come into, which is good. It's good. It's like I hear different variations. Like every single time I come into this house, she's always like, gee, I got to tell you about this thing. And then she like, she always goes into like, she tells me all her plans, and I just like listen to her, you know, like, oh, cool. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. So like, it's nice to really hear it. And it's also really nice that we're giving you this opportunity, and just to really kind of to share it, because I feel like oftentimes you say it over and over and over and over, especially to like people you know, but to really like share it and to give it out to people right now who are during COVID, like small businesses, you know, for example, a lot of small businesses are probably struggling a lot. I don't know, do you know any other small businesses in the scene, people you know personally, that are also kind of going through some hardships, or is there, what has been going on with them at all?
I don't want to say who they are, because I don't know if that'd be appropriate, but there are a lot of people in the scene who are struggling, and you think they're not, because they're still posting.
Instagram says otherwise, right?
Yeah, that's why you can't believe that Instagram shit.
For real.
Like, but yeah, everybody's getting hit financially. I can't think of one business that isn't. Maybe the medical industry is doing fine.
Yeah, right.
That's true, and I think that's why it's important to, you know.
Sorry to cut you off. I have a good suggestion for people who are like struggling. One thing that I have learned is that if you have a business model, right? Like, say for instance, you sell glitter. For example, Lunatics. Really love that brand. I love Claudia. She is the owner of it, and she is actually, I'm trying to make her my mentor right now. But basically, she sells like glitter and like little hair extensions and stuff like that. But when the pandemic hit, she to that, you know, people aren't going to raves. I mean, they were doing virtual raves, but it's still not enough to pull in.
There's not enough.
The same amount of, revenue and just, all that stuff. Like that. So what she did, I feel like, is very smart. She kind of pivoted within her same niche. She started selling wigs. So I think that's important when you are faced with kind of like a lot of like controversy. What word am I? It's not controversy.
Like a halt in.
What is the word I'm thinking of?
In demand?
No, when you face with like a problem.
An obstacle?
We'll just say obstacle.
Sure.
I think of the word as soon as this shit is over. But basically adversity, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. So when you're faced with a lot of adversity, especially like something like the COVID, the pandemic, you have to make sure that you are not stagnant and that you're flexible, because if you read this book called The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins, I think, basically he talks about how in the book he talks about like how it's not like the strongest who survive necessarily. It's about people who are the most adaptable.
I agree.
If you can't change when like something like COVID happens, and like if you can't adjust to what your audience is going to need instead, then like you're going to be stuck, and your competitors or your friends are all going to like leave you in the dust. So like she came out with wigs, she came out with also some apparel now, which is really cute. So like if you think like everybody's in the house, you know what I'm saying? So people are going to want lounge stuff. So that's those types of things that she's doing. Like I want to apply that to my business.
I was going to say that I feel like you kind of said it basically, especially now, if you're a small business, especially in the scene, it's so easy to get boxed into a corner and box yourself in to like, this is what I provide and that's it.
Yeah.
So I feel like with COVID, it really does make people push past their boundaries basically.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of think outside the box and think differently. And you kind of even mentioned, you know, with Lunatics, how, okay, nobody's going to raves, even just driving raves now, not many people, people go, but a lot of people don't go. And
Shit,
so
I haven't gone.
I know you haven't gone to any.
I've never gone.
And so kind of like jumping into our next topic about, driving raves, Imani, you've been a vendor, but you've also been an attendee. And I've been to
I have.
one or two with you? Two.
Yeah.
Dead Mouse and what was the first one we went to? Leaf Falls. No, not Leaf Falls.
Let me say it. It's
the house music
who is it? His name? Autograph.
Oh. No.
Do we didn't go
Sunburn.
To
it was
Sunburn.
Sunburn.
She's like, let me say it.
It was Sunburn and somebody else.
But Autograph was there too.
Probably he opened and then Sunburn I think closed.
Yeah, he did.
But
he closed so good.
I wanted you to kind of give this opportunity to give your experiences, what it's like being an attendee versus being a vendor.
That's a good question. Oh, you got some good questions. Okay, so as an attendee, so this is why I was kind of reluctant to start a business in the scene, like well before I even start. Like I just told myself I didn't want to because I did not want to have to work while I'm trying to have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I had there's something very pleasurable about making money when everybody else is spending it. Okay? I had so much fun, and especially when it's your shit, people are like, ooh, I like you get to see, it's something special about seeing what people want from the things that you create or curate.
Yeah.
So there's that pleasure I got out of it. And then also the making the money part. And also too, people, you know how the rave scene is. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to see what you're doing. And
that's right.
Get to know you.
Yeah. So it was just I still got to get my interactions with people. Probably more than most people because I was a spot where people could come to and chat. Cause during the pandemic, people can't really congregate or talk to people, but at the ones that I went where there was a vendor, it was I could vend there, people came up to me and they talked to me, so I still got all of my fixes.
So what shows have you been a vendor at?
I've been a vendor
suburbs, right?
Yeah, in the suburbs. It's called Bay Station.
Oh,
in Waukegan.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is Bay Station?
Bay Station is awesome. They are really, really great, actually. And they're so underrated. I feel way more people should go there from the city. But it's really just the suburb kids be out there getting it. And if you like dubstep, then you definitely want to go out to Waukegan.
See, I've been wanting to go so bad. But this damn pandemic shit got me too scared. And I'm diabetic. So it's I'd rather just not. Right. I'd rather just save my money, stack my bread, stay at home and just, not risk it. But Bay Station does look lit. So you were a vendor at Bay Station.
That was the first pop-up I ever did. And it was awesome. I made $400 my first night.
Yeah.
So it really pumped me up.
Yeah.
And it was just such a good experience. And after that I I was a vendor at Lake Shore Drive-In.
Ooh, how was that?
It was not as good, only because
I can definitely see why.
They were very strict.
Yeah.
Very strict. And it was they didn't let me like set up my booth and let people come up to me. They did it through like text message, like how they ordered the food. So
food was good though.
The food was good. But yeah, basically like people didn't like look to see what was being sold on there. I just feel like if I would have had a tent and they just would have regulated who came, then I would have actually made some money.
Yeah.
And then the last place I went to, actually, no, 2 other places. Other place was, God, I don't remember the name because it's a long ass fucking name. But it was out in the suburbs, in like Schaumburg area. It was literally one of the best drive-ins, but it got shut down as soon as it started.
I already know what you're talking about. It was some dubstep DJ, and I know why.
Was it Subtronics?
No. It got
Subtronics played at, I want to say LSD Drive-In in the city.
It got shut down because a video went viral on fucking EDM Chicago. I'm not going to talk shit about it because I love Matthew, who's the owner of it. He's a really nice guy. But the people in his group is so fucking evil.
Well, the thing is, like, everyone has a phone, so nothing is secret. Something's always going to come out.
I know.
So when it came out and it showed that they were not basically keeping those restrictions and keeping it very strict, of course they're going to shut it down, especially in the burbs. I feel like you're already on a short leash in the burbs compared to the city sometimes. You know
what I hate though is like that was just one fucking little video. And that honestly makes me understand why Lakeshore Drive-In was so strict and they last so long, because they were so strict and they didn't like play that shit.
They had people walking back and forth down the car aisle, constantly checking. But
this place, they did it a little bit, but honestly, I feel like they were very safe. Like, and I had made the most money I had ever made at a pop-up, so it was awesome. But there was that, and then there was also this one. It's called the Downers Sandbar Club or something like that. It's in Downers Grove. It is so fucking dope. I made a lot of money there.
That's awesome.
And they had 3 stages. The cops never came.
Oh shit!
And they stayed open till like 2 a.m. because
Damn,
it's
that's
not
awesome.
in the city.
Wow. And so those are basically the places where you vendored at. Which one would you say is like your best experience besides the money?
It's all about the money.
But which one would you say was like your favorite experience? And that
the
really
one
stood
that
out
got
to you?
shut down. That was like literally the best because it was so big. You know how most like Lakeshore Drive-In, you can only have up to like 100 cars, but that
small
place, I'm about to find the name of it. That one, they had over 400 cars.
Oh shit! So that was stacked.
The DJ you're thinking about, that dubstep DJ, I think his name was like Hero or something.
It starts not Hero Buzz.
Yes, it was. It was Hero Buzz. Yep, that's it.
That's probably why. Like that's probably why I don't remember, because I'm like, if he would have played, I would have been
Hoffman Estates. That's where it was. At the Sears parking lot.
Oh, okay. Where Spring Awakening was.
Yeah, where Spring Awakening was. That's probably why I loved it, because I loved Spring Awakening last year.
Oh.
It was so great.
So now you've talked a little bit about your experience as a vendor. What would you say it is versus an attendee?
Okay, as an attendee, it's not the same. It's not the same. Like, I enjoy going,
right?
But it's just not the same as a rave. Like, it's just not the same. Even Dead Mouse, it was fun. I had fun. I enjoyed myself, but it wasn't the same. I would rather be a vendor, because then I could like get,
of course,
all my fixes in.
Yeah, and then you get to listen to music on the side.
And I get to listen to music.
That's true.
Once the real deal starts back up, I'm going to still vend, and I'm just going to like have some of my friends kind of run it for me. I'll stay a little bit, but I was thinking like doing shifts basically.
Yeah.
So that way I can, so one thing that I say is really cool about vending is like the vendors are like very awesome, especially in the rave scene. They're like very creative. A lot of them are kind of like hippie, and they just like work for commission, and especially like Evol Chicago. I think
that's
how
you say it. Love Evol Chicago.
I love them. And
see how instantly we just like bursted.
Yes. Their RV bus at fucking Forest.
Yes. The best.
Okay.
They are so kind, and they are so and they're just vets. Like they just been in the shit for a long time. And a lot of them give me so much advice, especially like when I go to these little shows to like vend at. They're always telling me when the next show, like where I can vend at a like secret underground events and all types of stuff. And I haven't like been too much in contact with them lately because I'm trying to build the internet part.
Yeah.
Like if I can get the internet thing together, then I feel like that's where I'd make most of my money. Cause like right now, like going to little events is not gonna like catapult me because people not going out right now.
Of course.
But what I love about them is that they like are very in the know and they're not like shysty with the information.
See, and I hate that shit about people sometimes, that they have like access to things, and when you want not all of the information, but you know, like, hey, how can I get to this? And you know, they're like, you know, they just be saying shit like, I can't tell you, or you know, it's top secret or some shit like that.
I feel like that happens a lot in the scene. I feel like
do you think a lot of people are nicer in terms of like giving you information, or have you met a couple of people that are kind of like stuck up and they're like, nah, I don't give my information out?
As far as like the store, like
entrepreneur stuff? Yeah, like entrepreneur stuff or even vendor stuff, like anything in general.
Surprisingly, I have had really good success with people like giving me information. I don't know if it's because I'm so cute or if
probably it.
Or honestly, you know, I think just good energy attracts good energy, and it's also about tact too. Like you want to make sure that you're asking people appropriately, at the right time in the right location. Good tone of voice, like all that shit just matters.
Right.
So I think I've gotten lucky.
Okay.
But I know there's a lot of shiesty motherfuckers out there, so and it's not all sunshines and rainbows.
Well, you mentioned kind of a little bit how like, okay, as soon as things get back, I'm gonna start doing this and this, and that kind of leads me into my next question: is when do you think this will kind of come back, and what do you think it'll be like as a vendor? Because I'm sure it's not gonna just be like, okay, everyone just go free and just go running into the festival, because I'm sure it's going to be like just a slow transition into things maybe. So what do you think it's going to be like, and when do you think it will come back?
I wish I knew, but what I think is going to happen is I think next year the rave scene is going to come back. I think everything's going to open up next year. I don't think that we're going to be quarantine for another year.
Like you're estimated, like this is when the festival.
It is basically December, but I mean like next year, like summer, I think we'll be good to go. Cause I believe that coronavirus exists. I'm not one of those people who think that it doesn't exist. I just also believe in the human body, and I believe that like we're resilient and we're strong, and I feel like people underestimate that. I'm not trying to get into like particulars, but I think that they're going to find a vaccine and a cure. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah,
like
they're already working on it.
I've heard as soon as I'm not saying this because of the election, but as soon as the election was over, I heard 3 different fucking commercials on the radio talking about how they're like 95% cures.
Yeah, they were withholding that, but regardless.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, either way, I'm just like, I'm very optimistic about the future. But right now, while we're on quarantine, everybody should take advantage of it, because everybody is not doing nothing. So if you could just get your shit together right now, business-wise, money-wise, we were just talking about this.
Literally just talking about
save your fucking money.
Yeah.
I mean, spend it at GIVEMEPLUR, but save your money.
Shameless plug.
Budget.
Right.
Budget correctly.
Budget. Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's so hard, too, is like budgeting and saving your money and, just like...
especially if
like,
you're in the scene.
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about it in our finances episode.
Bro.
We talked about it in our Ravers finances episode, how hard it is for us to not be tempted to want to just like splurge. Like I remember when right before Corona hit, I bought like 2 EDC passes, an EDC RV pass,
bro,
which is like very, very expensive. It's like $1,000 or more. And I'm probably not going to go to EDC just because I need that money to save because I've got other bigger things in mind.
Yeah, low key. I still have my 2 tickets for EDC, so if y'all trying to go next year and shit opens back up, I got 2 tickets for sale because I probably not.
In March though. That's the thing. It's
what?
Well, isn't that when EDC? Yeah, March happens. It happens in March or no May.
No,
My
May.
bad,
Goofy.
May.
I'm like,
get out of
May. Well, it's still.
Like,
I was like, wait, March. Well, still, like that could be a close call, you know, because you never know.
True.
Honestly. So that's the thing is like, by the time who knows, like the vaccines and stuff come out.
Would you take it?
Oh yeah, no question, no doubt. I would instantly.
I would not.
Instantly, I would. I mean, because like I don't have any predisposed health conditions, so there's less of a risk versus you. It's a different story, you know.
Yeah, no,
me, it's
sure.
like I'll take it.
Well, they're doing tests on people right now.
Yeah, they said it was what 95, 93, 95% effective.
You want to be that guinea pig?
No, I'm gonna wait. I mean, the thing is, I heard that they were going to give it to like first responders, people who need it most, like the elderly.
Oh yeah.
And then they give it out to the masses later.
Yeah, I know that people are doing studies right now because I get emails from companies.
$2,000.
You have to pay me $10,000
for real
for you to stick that shit in me.
I agree. Yeah, I'll be too scared.
I'm scared as fuck because I know because America has an actual history. I have a book.
She always has
in the library, in my little library, that talks about the atrocities that America has like. The medical side has like done to its citizens. Like
there's one that's specific to Latin America and how because of like the white men came and like it's basically talking about the history of how it just wiped out all our ancestors and stuff like that. So I know exactly kind of where you're going and what you're talking about in terms of like how a massive like country that has a lot of power can completely disintegrate even a whole population or whole generations of family lines, basically.
Yeah, I'm just kind of nervous about it. Like I know the history of America with the medical side of things, so I just don't. I'd rather. It's not that I believe in like vaccines and stuff. Like I'm going to vaccinate my kids. I have vaccinations. I get my flu shot, but just to be real, like I just don't feel comfortable about this vaccine. So I'm gonna just wait until everybody else take it, see if anybody see how they doing, and I'm like, okay, I'll probably take it.
As soon as I take it, she's not letting me into the house.
Right?
You're infected.
No.
Oh my god, yeah, shit, that's crazy. It's crazy times right now. Like it's just like I feel like I'm in a fucking movie.
I know.
Like the election was a fucking joke. 2020 was a fucking joke.
You know what's crazy?
For ravers, it's so bad. Like I didn't think that not raving for an entire year practically was gonna affect me mentally. But now that I look back at like my videos of going out,
bro, if this wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have started the podcast because I wouldn't have had so much time to self-reflect. So just think about that.
Yeah,
like,
low key.
This definitely, I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but.
Like, actually doing it.
That's what I'm saying. Take advantage of this time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, man, let's do a little bit of more talking. I want to know what kind of self-reflection did you do that made you kind of realize new things? How do you think that you have evolved this year that you don't think you would have evolved in if 2020 was a normal year, per se?
Say the question again.
So, like, what self-reflection have you done on yourself that has helped you evolve this year compared to, like, let's say if 2020 was a normal year, do you think you would still be in the place that you're in right now?
The type of self-reflection that I've done is
go to Philly.
See my boyfriend. No, honestly, probably I don't know. I guess I'm sorry, I don't really understand the question like that. Like, what do you mean? Like, what type of self-reflection?
Yeah, like, were there any qualities of yourself or of your lifestyle that you realized you needed to correct?
Oh, okay.
Or you wanted to enhance.
Or
you
wanted to get better
So,
at.
like, for example, like I did a lot of self-reflection and I realized I want to have another hobby. I want to do podcasting. So then
Okay, I understand. Sorry, guys, it took me so long. Honestly, a lot of my self-reflection happened before COVID, because I stopped doing drugs last summer, and I started back drinking like during Christmas last year, and I was like kind of drinking off and on, not really crazy, up until probably like a week or so ago. Now I'm like back on my break, but like I think every day is a fucking self-reflection. Honestly, like, I guess I had a recent self-reflection, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I had like a really bad hangover from drinking, and I couldn't go to school. I couldn't go to class because I was just very exhausted and tired, and I was just like, hold on, Imani, like, you starting to do the same shit you did last year. Like, you probably not popping pills, but you still, like, you falling off track. You got a business now. Like, you trying to do these different things. Like, I think it's like a constant work in progress with yourself. I think it's important. I'm sorry if I'm not really answering your question.
No, you're fine.
But I think it's like really important for people to like sit with themselves, like to have like like actually sit with yourself, like in quiet and in like complete just thought, not necessarily meditation, but just sitting with your thoughts and sitting with yourself, and just taking some time to figure out like what it is you want, like maybe even writing down some of your goals and stuff, weekly or like bi-weekly, because it's constant. It's not something that once you reach a goal, that's not it. There's always something to improve upon.
I see that. I feel that. What about you, Manny? What kind of self-reflection have you been doing? What kind of questions have you been asking yourself when you are laying in bed late at night?
Having pillow talks with myself.
Pillow talks with yourself.
Well, honestly, to be honest, this season, all of 2020, I'm not going to lie, I actually kind of love it, because it's when I started my internship for my career path. And with that came changes, which was basically doing my internship telehealth, like providing mental health therapy through a laptop. So for me, it's actually kind of perfect for me, because when you're starting a career path like that, you can get very nervous being in front of someone and talking to someone, and then I can't pull up all these tabs and like, find, resources or worksheets to work on with them in sessions. So honestly, I've been loving this opportunity to just do telehealth. I realized actually because of it, I actually want to start a business of my own, basically a private practice, with my buddy Dion. At some point we're going to do, where we provide telehealth services, basically like clinical therapy services. And we just realized, like, this is part of my self-reflection. It's just realizing, like how you said, Imani, like working on your goal. Like, okay, I got to my internship, but what else can I work on? What else can I do further for my career path? Oh, I have a buddy here who's like me, who looks just like me, who's Hispanic, male, wants to be a therapist. Why don't we join forces? Why don't we work on something together? So I've been utilizing this time to talk to him about stuff, and we've already got things set up. We just basically have to roll it out at some point, with some little tweaks we have to do here and there. But a lot of the self-reflection has been just, what can I do in terms of my career path? And also a lot of it has been separating my career person from my own self. So as soon as I turn this laptop off, I'm a completely different person. I'm not therapist Manny at all.
You're not Emmanuel.
No,
you're
I'm not
Don.
Emmanuel. Yeah, exactly.
You're Don now.
But it's true, because if you want to go into like mental health career path, you're going to experience a lot of burnout, and you're going to experience a lot of like heavy emotional weight that people put on you. So I've been making sure I do a really, really good job. As soon as I'm done, I close the laptop and I put my room divider that puts that, it's like a background for when I'm recording. I put it away and I become a completely different person. I forget all about it. I forget all about clients. I don't even know who they are. I can't even think of them off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So a lot of it has just been making sure that I maintain boundaries really within my career path, and then what do I really want to do, and then just I think also taking time to do some more self-care practices. So I've been doing, like I talked to you yesterday, the gratitude journal, basically writing down, even if it's for like last night I only had 5 minutes before bed, I wrote down like things I'm thankful for, and I'm going to fill it up completely. So hopefully by next, November, December, I can look back and be like, wow, look at all the things I was grateful for, or even do it month by month. And so little things like that to kind of make me feel better. Yeah. Just healthy habits for my mental health.
Yeah.
What
and
about
then
you?
just, for me, I don't know, man. Me compared to you guys, I'm still so young because I'm only 23. And then how old are you, Imani?
I will not disclose.
You
I'm
young
27.
See, so
I'm 27.
So you guys are like way ahead of your career paths.
Okay.
Like no. Like
wait, no.
No.
Gray hairs right here.
You guys are way ahead of the game, right now, because you guys have had more experience. So for me, it's kind of like seeing what you guys are doing in terms of like how you chose one thing and like you stick with it. And I've been listening to podcasts, so I think that the podcasts have kind of helped me, because now that's what I'm doing, and hearing the conversations that other people have, it's allowed me to open my mind of how they think. And I'm like, fuck, like I'm that kind of person, low key, that they're talking about. So I should probably think about what I'm doing as a person. Like, and a lot of it has been family trauma. So the last episode that we recorded, I talked a little bit about, toxicity in my life. And for me this year, it's been coming to terms with what my past is and what my present is now, and to focus on the present right now rather than the past, because the past, it built me up to who I am now, but that's not the person that I want to be. That's not the kind of personality traits that I want to have going on in the future. So I've done a lot of personal self-reflecting of the type of person that I want to be, and kind of figuring out what I want to do with my life, because I'm starting to get to that point too where it's like, I'm gonna turn 26 and I ain't gonna have my mama's insurance no more. So I need to make sure that I have like a good foundation of, I can take care of myself. And it's so crucial for me because I'm diabetic and I live in America and I'm a minority. So it's like you have all these challenges facing you already, and nobody's there to guide you or to help you. So for me, it's like putting my big girl pants on and just being like, I'm gonna do this shit alone. But I'm not gonna do it alone without mentorship. So I've been looking for mentorship as well. And there's one podcast that I really love listening to, and it's called Unpack and Bounce Back with Sky and Reina. And they are so awesome. They are like the coolest people ever, and they're very artistic. And hearing about their lifestyle inspires me to carry on with my artistic traits, because I'm so creative. So it's like constantly I'm just thinking about shit like, oh my God, it would be awesome if I infused this food with fucking THC and I would sell it, And it's like right now, the only thing that's stopping me from starting my career is just the fact that I'm not living on my own yet. So it's like, I'm just patiently waiting for January so that I can finally, be fully developed in how I want to be and be the most peaceful person that I can be, within myself, and have the peace within myself to not look at others and be like, what the fuck? Like, I don't have that. or I wasn't raised in that way. So I feel like I'm missing out, and I'm so jealous because they don't have, because they don't know the struggles that I went through type shit. And I'm about to start crying because I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
You know what? The fact that you just said that reminded me of literally what I just talked about in my other podcast, Blissful Mind. We talked about imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're inadequate, or you feel like you're a phony or a fake, or you don't belong in the role that you are in, whether it's being a good enough friend, being a good enough business owner, good enough mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, nephew, uncle, whatever. You feel like you're inadequate, and you feel like you're fake, or you feel like you're not good enough. And a lot of that stems from because you compare yourself to others, which we all do. It's like inevitable. We all do it at all the time.
Some point.
Especially like me and my friend Dana, we're literally just talking about in that podcast how like in mental health, that's literally what we do all the time, because we feel like we're not good enough therapists, or, like, even though you can have like a plaque on your wall that says like, you got the highest degree possible, but yet you feel you're inadequate. So that's something that like that you mentioned is very real, and I feel like especially like even like as a business owner, and just what you just said too about being a minority, it reminded me like right when you said that, it just goes to show how amazing we all are, because we are all minorities, but we all yet have shown so much willpower and have really kind of just shown that we have the capability and the abilities. And just I feel like us being here, our representation, doing this right now, is talking and speaking to other people who look just like us and who are like, oh, they can do that? Well, why can't I do that? And that's why when I saw you do it, I was like, I can do it too, So I'm telling you, literally, you don't even have to say anything. Just your presence alone says so much. And I feel like, Imani, for just your presence alone, being a small business, but like a Black-owned business, and just being a woman of color, I feel like you're speaking volumes to so many other women who are like, okay, I'm going to start writing goals, and they're going to listen to this episode, and they're probably going to come back and say like, because I listened to that episode, blah, 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 blah. Just watch. Just watch. It's going to happen.
I believe it.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I want to do over, because now I understand exactly what y'all wanted. But I'm going to be real quick, though. Basically, my reflection that I had this year is I need to be more involved with like politics and like my community, because I realized this when like George Floyd had died. I realized how like very much the same society is since back when my grandparents were alive. I mean, they're alive, but since when they were young, you know what I'm saying? So like, I really want to be more involved in my community, like volunteering, and not necessarily like I don't care to tell anybody about it, but I just think that like, if I help people, I'd feel better. And that also helps like with mental health. Like the highest form of like happiness is like doing for others, like hands down. So like there's that. And then the second thing is my brother passed this summer. So I realized, this is really sad, but he got murdered. He was shot in the face in the hospital. He was seeking mental help. He was seeking mental health assistance because I feel like he was having a mental breakdown because of the George Floyd situation and Ahmaud Arbery, basically realizing that, people that look like him can be killed for no reason, or just killed because
of their color, because they're alive, just because they're there,
just because they're
It really fucked him up. So he graduated from college, but he was still living in his house, and he was in Michigan, but basically he wasn't doing too good. He wasn't doing too good mentally, and I don't want to get into the whole story of it, but basically he had ended up getting to the hospital, left him there for a couple hours, and one of the security guards shot him in the face, and 23 years old, just gone like that. Like my dad's only son. It's just really, really hard, but that'll be another topic for another time. But what I realized with him passing is that life is just so uncertain and it's so short. So I feel like I use my brother's death as motivation for me to really go hard And I'm not saying I don't be going hard every single day. Yeah. I'm lazy too still, but like the underline is that like you don't have more than one chance. You only have this life. You only have this opportunity to make something great of yourself, to help other people, to influence people. So I'm just trying to do that and trying to step up in my family and try to make things better for all of us. And then the last realization I had is that beauty don't last forever, baby. I fucking slipped and fell and bust my face open at the place that I love the most, in the Hoffman Estates. Yeah. So that vendor experience, I had so much fucking fun. It was so much fun. And while we were packing up, I like slipped and fell on my table. It wasn't this one, it was the other one back there. And I like bust open my lip and I chipped my tooth, and it was right before we were supposed to do all these like campaigns and stuff for Halloween. I just didn't know like how I was gonna like kind of get through all of that, but I was cool when it first happened. But after like a few days, when I was like by myself, because that whole weekend I had to still vend. I don't remember what holiday was it? I think it was 4th of July or something like that. I don't know, but it was something going on, Memorial Day or something, that made like everybody was just going out. Yeah. But I still had to work. So my adrenaline was up. I had my friends still around me, but when everybody left me, I ended up making a video on Instagram basically crying because I was like, I'm not going to look the same, and I look ugly, and I just hate I just was very, very depressed for that like good like hour. But over time, like what I'm getting to is that like that saying that, you know, beauty is only skin deep, like it's true. Like it's kind of true. Like I've learned to love myself in a different way. I've learned to like understand beauty differently, and value like my like intangibles, like value my personality, my characteristics even more. Even though I've never felt like a conceited person, I do feel like, not just me, because I'm on social media a lot, I feel like a lot of us overly value our like outer appearance. Like we put too much value on that, and it's just because of that's how the internet is. That's how society is. But me fucking up my face, or I wouldn't say it's fucked up, but like I have like a scar on my lip now. You know, I have to get like my I have to get a whole new grill. You know, I can't leave it like it's just my mind, like I realize that it's not all that important. It's like
a humbling experience, I feel like, especially, and that's why it goes to, another self-reflection piece, I think for all of us and everyone, is like the fact that you're able-bodied, that you can walk on 2 feet, that you can get up every day. The fact that I had those 2, emergency experiences that you both know about, and the fact that, no harm was done to me, and I can be here and finish my degree and do this with both of you. I think for a lot of people, and that's why that gratitude journal was so helpful, was because I was writing down, like, I am able-bodied, I don't have any diseases, I don't have this or that, the fact that, like, I sprained my thumb, I think 2 months ago. It was really bad. I was playing flag football, and I could barely, like, it hurt so much. I couldn't even work out for basically 2 months, really. And just that alone, and I love working out, Mariana, I love working out. And just that alone was such a humbling experience, because I'm like, damn, like, even just like my sprained finger can really humble you and be like, I'm so glad to not like have a broken finger or, so I think what you're talking about is, it's a very humbling experience, and so I'm very thankful to be, where I am today. And I'm very thankful for where we are today and where you're going and where we're going. Honestly, like, I'm just like so thankful for us. And I'm thankful that we are very close, and I want to do this again too. I definitely want to do this again.
I'm gonna have you be my mentor now. Shit, girl, you know.
Call me up.
I'm already on. I got your number now, so there you go.
Yeah, no, and that's why like I love the fact that we did this, and it's a perfect opportunity for people to get to know us more, but also know you more, and
know your brand, know what you stand for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, follow me on @GiveMePLUR. That's @GiveMePLUR. And I am just a DM away.
ASMR. Okay.
ASMR.
It's gonna like give me Plur ASMR right here.
You gave me like low key Erykah Badu vibes or something.
Oh my god.
Have you ever heard Big Sean's Detroit 2 album?
Mm-mm.
Girl, you need to listen to it. Let me see, who was the one?
Is Erykah Badu on it?
I don't remember, but it's somebody, and she does like a I don't know how to say it. She does like a intro thing where it's just her talking with background music, and she's like describing her experience going to Detroit. So Detroit 2 is all about Detroit, and Big Sean brings on like let me look, hold on, Story by Erykah Badu.
Okay.
So you need to listen to that one because and there's other Stevie Wonders on it. He does another like story of his experience in Detroit, and it's a beautiful fucking it's beautiful. Yeah,
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's random, but I don't know why, just you talking, just
okay. I got that sultry voice.
Yes, I love it. Ooh, girl.
I wanted to use this last moment to really quickly, because I forgot to do this at the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
To quickly shout out to the Grammy nominees for Best Dance Electronica Album. P.L.U.R, he has Planets Mad. Disclosure, shout out to him.
Ooh.
Them. Kaytranada, Madion's Good Faith. And then just want to give another shout out to Best Dance Recording nominees for Kaytranada's 10%.
Oh,
you know that song?
No, I do not. But Kaytranada is a fucking vibe.
Amazing. Diplo and Side Piece, On My Mind.
Oh,
yes, Best Dance Recording.
Yes.
Yeah. My High by Disclosure featuring Amine and Slow Tie. I think
Ooh,
I got that right. And The
Amine,
Difference by Flume featuring Toro y Moi. So
Toro y Moi.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Best Dance Recording nominees. So shout out to them because I know it just came out today.
Yay!
And I wanted to do that in the beginning, but I totally forgot. So.
It's okay.
You're fired.
I know. Sorry.
No longer here. Well, guys, I think that kind of concludes our very beautiful episode. I'm so happy, and I just feel the amazing, genuine vibes from every single one of you guys. And I hope that our listeners feel the same way. You know, it's like you have 3 minorities that are doing the shit. And the best thing is that we from Chicago, baby.
Chi-town, baby.
Yeah, Chi-town. You know, born and raised. And, you know, who else to, you know, fuck with and other than people from Chicago. So I hope y'all feel the vibes. I hope you love us.
Yes.
Check out
on Instagram. Hit us up.
Yes.
Any questions? Anything. It could be non-raver related festival. It could be all business inquiries sent to Imani right here. Anything you guys want to talk about or you think we should discuss, even for her podcast and ours, please just send DMs.
The DMs.
Yes, please.
Send it up, baby.
And we'll tune in
much
next week.
Yeah. So thank you, Mani.
Thank you, Imani. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.